Hi everyone. Okay, so this video is going to be about just going over the bones of the deck and just giving you some detailed information about the deck makeup. So the deck art and creators are Anne Stavely and Jill Sutherland, and I am looking down at notes. So there's some sort of cohesion to this. And the guidebook is by Brian Duffy, who is a tarot expert. So that's what it says in the guidebook. The parts of the guidebook are an invocation, an introduction, and then how to use the deck. The major arcana description, they say that the universal archetypes of transcendent power, cosmic blueprint of soul transformation. And I actually really like the writing is quite excellent. I don't know, I think at first, when I first got the deck, it was kind of like, there was something like, maybe it was because of, my hesitance after I saw the card, but I think it was just like, it seemed like a little too like overdone. But actually, as I'm going through it today and taking time, there's a lot of like, it kind of goes well together. It's really thought out and it's very purposeful. And it's not flowery, but the language they use is a little elevated in terms of it's very like mystical. And when I actually sat down today to go over it, I really liked it. So, so I know that reading is sometimes boring, but it's the last paragraph on the major arcana. And they said that the major arcana of this particular deck has transformed many traditional titles and archetypes to bring focus to the ways of women and to distinctly feminine ways of knowing. This is not intended to exclude the masculine, but to amplify specific essential energies that exist within all living things. The voice of the goddess yearns to speak through all of nature, including you. And I really think that when decks do this, that's the true idea of an archetype, because if we agree that there are certain archetypes that are, that every human, despite where you come from or your background, given some like differences, let's say like minor differences, that we all experience these archetypes within us and around us, then the physical symbolism of the archetype shouldn't matter, or it should be recognized despite how the artist decides to convey that archetype, right? So, this entire time for thousands and thousands of years, it's like the male archetype has always been shown by male and the yang energy. And it's like, that kind of like, that's not really an archetype. It's kind of like one view of 1,000 different views of how we experience the masculine. And it's definitely from a human male perspective. So I think that's kind of done injustice to all societies for a long time. And even having the sun as only masculine, the S-U-N as only masculine and whatnot. Anyways, I think we're getting back to more of the wisdom part of divinatory and spirituality systems. And we're finally able to. So, like in this climate, in this present day, 2024, for now at least. Okay. So, the cards, like within the guidebook, you're going to have, with the major arcana, you're going to have an image, and then you're going to have like a little poem or like a 4 phrases that describe the image. You're going to have the title, and then you're going to have like their succinct sort of sentence also, and then a description, and then an affirmation. So it's quite meaty and it's quite lovely. For the minor arcana, you're going to have the same thing, but the phrases here are like longer, and but yeah, I think everything else is the same. And the minors, they describe, and the minors are only cards 1 through 10, and they describe 4 journeys into elemental mastery, maps of the borders between fate and choice. And they say that the minors represent 4 primary categories of lessons that life has to offer. You will be given a body, a mind, a heart, and a spark of will. And I think for all of us who are in the tarot world already, we recognize those as the suits immediately. So the keys, they call the fire of will, which are the wands. And the cups are the water of the heart. The knives are the air of the mind, which is the swords. And the skull, sorry, I can't read my own writing. The shells are the earth of the body. And what they say in the book is when minors appear in a reading, they are provoking a reaction from you. One bared on, sorry, I cannot read one based on your memories, your wishes, and your fears. You must be clear about exactly the kind of life that you want, and therefore exactly the kinds of experiences that you are inviting. All aspects of the details of your journey are reflected in the dance of these 4 elements. So I always really like how different creators describe the 4 suits and how they interact with one another. And then, so for the court cards, they call them the cycle cards. So caretakers of nature's harmonies, caretakers of nature's harmonious balance, 4-fold spirit of eternal transformation. So I really like that. So they say here that the cycle cards represent the most potent expression of the elements of creation. They're the 4 chapters of a woman's life, the 4 phases of the moon, the 4 directions, on and on. These aspects as each of these aspects transforms into the other, they form a circle with no beginning and no end. To orient ourselves at the center of the circle is to make ourselves whole. So that's really cool. When the cycle cards appear in a reading, they are meant to remind you of specific people that embody their qualities, or to call upon those qualities within you. To master the energies of this life is to hold truth and to test that truth through experience. Who would you become if you were to claim and live by your inseparable union with the greatest forces of nature? So they have like really cool explanations in the guidebook. So the way that they break down the court cards are the maiden, which is the page, the mother, which is the knight, the maga, which is the queen, and then the crone, which is the king. So the maiden has the spirit of spring and the waxing moon. She is the master of desire, potential, optimistic but not naive. The mother is the spirit of summer and full moon. Again, the mother here is the knight. Master of ripeness, stability and power, abundance, blossoming of compassion and unconditional love. The maga, it's Latin for enchantress or a female magician. And here she's the spirit of autumn and waning moon. Master of reinvention, independence, transformation, innovation, promise of revolution, harvesting of new magic, rejects any tradition or habit that stands in the way of freedom. The crone here, our lovely crone, is a spirit of winter and new moon, master of discipline, precision, practicality, maturity, and harmony. Crone has learned the deepest secret of life and death and safeguards them for the benefit of future generations. She is refinement of wisdom. Okay, so that's kind of the layout here. The strength and justice cards are sort of reversed. Justice here is 8 and the strength is 11. So this deck reminded me just the way that it looks of the Thoth kind of system, but it's not really Thoth. I think they just have like there are some renamings, like the universe or the world is universe, judgment is Aeon. So there are some changes, but I don't think it's really meant to be a Thoth-based deck. And what was the other thing I wanted to mention? I can't remember. So anyways, I just wanted to give you a rundown of what we are looking at and the structure of the deck. So I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.